Well, all right, people, welcome on into the High Heresy, like late panel. I kind of got, like awesome people from last night, and of course, I got like one of my best pals here, Wes, and we got a good stream for you tonight. We're gonna kind of discuss some really disturbing things as far as censorship. And I want to get into the topic of, recent bans, the biggest one being the president himself. So we'll talk about that. We're going to discuss, obviously, current events again. We always do. And, then usually later in the stream, we end up going like, just bonkers because it usually devolves into like a lot of laughter and inappropriate jokes, which is always good. So, the stream should be great again. We had a great stream last night. We'll have an equally good one tonight. So, you know, I want to kind of start out and just sort of give everybody kind of an update on my day. So Wes and Christy, you guys didn't hear about this. I actually talked with Palin in direct message about this earlier today. So
Oh yeah.
I had the appointment with the pain management doctors.
Mhm.
So okay, this is downright, Wes, you're gonna fall off your chair when I tell you this, dude.
Oh dear.
So I go into the doctor's office. I get in there, I do all the typical paperwork when you've never seen a doctor, and you guys know what that's like. They give you like 5 forms to fill out before you can even see the guy, and then I get called back in the office. I sit down. No sooner does he walk in within 5 minutes, and he's like, lift up your arm, show me you could do this, blah blah blah, and then he says, okay, so what's the latest? I said, well, I had an MRI, and they found that I have a severely herniated disc at the bottom of my cervical spine at C7. And he said, okay, so you don't have feeling in your pinky and the finger right above it. And I'm like, no. And he said, what about your arm? I said, well, I don't have feeling about 3/4 of it. And he said, okay. Well, he said, I can't give you a shot today. I'm like, well, wait, what? I came here for a shot. He's like, oh, I know you came for a shot, but I can't give you a shot today because, your insurance company, well, they're too hard to deal with, so I'm not giving you a shot.
What?
What?
That's exactly what he told me.
Yep.
That is dead on what the guy told me. So just to process it, guys. Yeah, he just literally told me he cannot give me treatment because my insurance company is, quote, too hard to deal with. So what he decides to do instead, he scribbles out a prescription and says, "Here, I'll put you on a steroid. We'll call it into your pharmacy. You can go pick that up. Have a great day." Oh, and he said, "I'll see you in 5 weeks."
What?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sitting there dumbfounded, like, what just happened? What just happened?
It's not your problem.
Exactly.
Whatever issues he has with your insurance company, fuck that guy.
Exactly. And shit like that is how people get addicted to pills.
And so I kind of just like, he's like, you're good to go. You can take off now. So I just like walk out of the office and, I'm like, what the fuck? So thankfully the physical therapy place is not far from where the doctor's office was. The physical therapy place I had gone before. So I stopped in there and made an appointment for Wednesday to start physical therapy back up. But it's like, I was just like, that bugged me the whole time. I'm like, I've never, in all my years that I've gone to doctors, I've never had a doctor refuse treatment because my insurance company was notoriously hard to deal with.
I have.
I mean, I
Time
don't.
to find a different doctor when that happens. It's like that's not your problem, Drew. That's his problem.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell is the damn healthcare system turned into? I mean,
Money.
yeah.
Exactly. It's like that's all they care about.
I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous. I mean, you know, I needed the damn shot. That's what the hell I was sent there for. That's why, you know, my orthopedic doctor referred me to that pain management guy. He's like, oh, you could trust him. He's good. Well, you know, I bet you that my orthopedic doctor for the referral got a nice little kickback from that. But you know, it's just fuck, man.
I would let that orthopedic doctor know what happened. He may not be aware.
Can you?
Yeah.
Is there any review or report that you can do on this doctor? Or just, I mean,
other than like, I don't know. I don't think you can really
Online review.
online
Yeah,
review or something. Because I mean, also that's how people.
That's how a lot of doctors can get into a lot of trouble with those reviews. You say, oh, this was a horrible doctor, didn't even treat me for what I was there for.
I mean, yeah, the only thing I think you can leave is probably like a Google review. I don't think you can leave like really I don't think the doctors are reviewed on Yelp or whatever. And hey, Jay, Sci-Fi Nation, yes, I know you. I'm fully aware you are progressive. Yes, but yeah, you know, that was just an eye-opening experience. I've never personally had that happen, and so you know, I sucked it up. I came home, wound up, as Fallon knows, after I talked to her, I wound up taking a nap, and that was that. That was pretty much my day. But yeah, that was that was crazy. So yeah,
Wow.
I just had to kind of share that anecdote because I don't know. I don't know if any of y'all have had that happen ever, but.
I have had that happen, actually, so I can relate.
Yeah.
It's like, what did you just say to me? What?
Yeah. Dude, it leaves you dumbfounded.
It really does.
Like, I hate going to the doctor, right? So I have to work myself up to go into the doctor. I don't know about anybody else, but I hate it.
Well, I don't think anybody likes it, Wes.
Yeah, so when I work myself up to it, and you get in there and they just like casually dismiss you like that, like, oh, your insurance company's shit, so you know, whatever.
Yeah.
What? It took me like 6 weeks, 2 months for whatever issue to work myself up here to get to want to, you know, like, okay, I hope I'm not dying, you know, and then for them to like casually dismiss you like that, fuck that. Man.
Yeah. RR says that
he's had it happen, yeah.
Yeah, RR says he's had it happen too. So obviously, it's just, I mean, that's balls right there when the doctor straight up tells you, yeah, I'm not treating you.
Wow.
A professional way to approach that would be, okay, so here's what's happening between myself. Welcome to Sentinel. Hail, my friend.
Hail, everyone. Nice for having me on. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Supreme Heretic?
I've been better, man. Just talking about today, Sentinel, I went to a doctor's appointment and was refused treatment because apparently my insurance company is too hard to deal with.
Oh, geez.
So they took the easy way out by writing me a prescription for pills and sent me out the door. I was supposed to go there to get an injection to help my back.
I mean, how hard is it to do an injection? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's something built in there for them to be able to. Oh man, see, I mean, that's not even a difficult treatment to make. An injection is not difficult. It's ridiculous, you know. I mean, a professional would sit down and say, here are the challenges that I as a doctor have with the insurance company, and this insurance company in particular. Now, this office doesn't have a great relationship with that insurance company, but I know that there's a better relationship with this other doctor's office. Perhaps that might be a better way, a better place to start, instead of just like, your fucking insurance company doesn't pay me fast enough, so I can't make my my Mercedes payment, and fuck off and die. I mean, what the hell?
More or less.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how I felt when it happened to me. So I was like, really? Well, I mean, I'm a person that I think I don't know what my medical issues are. I'm seeing a doctor because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're telling me pretty much to fuck off and that you don't care. Okay.
All right, so let's kind of move on. Yeah, obviously
move on to happier stuff like censorship and the takeover of the
the fall of America. Yeah, but
potentially, but they would like it that way.
No, it's not going to happen, because look, if it ever goes to that level, I promise you, it's going to be the same outcome as the first Civil War. Patriots win. Yes, Itchmash, by the way, yes, it was spinal. It was going to be a spinal injection, because I have a severely herniated disc, so they would have to probably inject right into a nerve around there. So yeah, but yeah, the thing with the just some of the latest that I've seen, like I've seen like that couple in Missouri being like taken to task just for defending their property, and coming out calling them racist, when it's proven that community where these protesters marched into was actually private. They broke through a gate.
Yeah.
I actually have tweets on my timeline. I think Cassandra Fairbanks posted it, where the gate you can actually see is physically broken. So definitely broke through, and that was it was private property. And at that point, there's a castle law in that state, and that's fair game. When you step onto private property, it's fair game. And I'll tell you what, if that shit happens and somebody comes marching through this suburb, because we have a lot of senior citizens on my block and things like that, and you best believe they are armed in their homes. If people start stepping on up and getting froggy and trying to jump, I mean, hey, look, jump this way, but don't be surprised if your sorry ass gets like splatted, because you will. I mean, I'm not playing when it comes to defending, my senior citizen mother and everything else. I'm not going to think twice. I'm shooting center mass, and you're done. And I don't blame those people at all for defending their property. And you want to call me a racist for that? Go right ahead. I mean, it's just it's getting bad. So I don't know what your take on it is. I think the couple are in the right. I don't think they should be being taken to task about it. I want to kind of go around and see what everybody thinks. So, Fallon, what do you think?
I think that couple should be left alone. They were defending their lives, their home, as far as they knew. They didn't know what all that group of quote-unquote protesters were going to do. Because we had no idea if they had any weapons on themselves. So it's like, I have no problem with that couple. And it's obviously an older couple. So
yeah, they looked like seniors to me. I don't know. Sentinel, what's your take on it?
I would have never wanted to be put in the position that those two were put into. They must have been absolutely terrified. Terrified. I was watching Mimology 101. He reported the incident and made it transparent that it was a coordinated effort to break into that private community and try to loot it. In my opinion, there was a guy holding a radio to help coordinate the attempted, quote unquote, I think, looting of that area. In the video, there was also a guy standing in front of a private property sign. It clearly said private property on a plaque right alongside the gate that was busted open. So, yeah, leave those people alone. That just terrifies me. It makes me want to go out and buy a gun right now because I don't ever want to be put in a situation now or several years from now when I own my own house outright and some PC leftist mob for some reason has the nerve to try to take my house because I'm privileged in their eye. Fuck that.
Yep. Christy?
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at a few articles, and like I said, here's remarks of the local CBS station. The homeowners said that a mob of at least 100 smashed through their historic wrought iron gate. I have a picture. I'll put in the private chat, which was marked "Private Street, No Trespassing" signs, and that's all you need right there.
Yeah, I actually saw that. There was a post from Cassandra Fairbanks on Twitter. I actually saw that because they legit broke the gate. There's no question about it. They broke the gate. You see the gates like lying down. So they definitely broke the gate. Hey, cold-blooded critic, what is up, my guy? It's good to see you, buddy. Yeah, they legitimately broke the gate. Yeah, Parrot Head, I saw Tim's video on it too. But
if you want to share the screen real quick, here's a picture of the gate.
Okay. Oh man,
that's broken from the outside. That's not broken from the inside.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's a rich white couple and stuff like that who probably have more money than they're ever going to need or anything like that.
Oh yeah. But that's not the point. It's just it can easily happen in a middle class suburb as well. It doesn't matter, it should just be like a normal suburb.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yep.
Go ahead, Wes.
All right. So
that's not me.
Okay.
Who's that?
Somebody's
watching. I think your voice. I think your voice scrambler might not be working, Sentinel. If that was you talking.
Oh no, it wasn't.
Does somebody have a video playing in the background, maybe?
Oh,
I know.
Yeah, I just turned it off.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened.
That's what it was. Hey, Philip Gaming. Hail, buddy. Welcome to see you. Shadow Man, hail. Good to see you. But what was your take on that situation, Wes?
Well, I think they had every right to defend themselves, obviously. I'm just like flabbergasted that this is even a controversy, honestly.
Well, it's the usual. As soon as they came out and they had guns, they took the opportunity. Number one, the couple got immediately doxxed on social media. That happened within like minutes. And then what happened after that was, of course, the usual, like either trolls or whatever come out with the comments like, oh, these people are racist. Look, the peaceful protesters. They're pointing guns at peaceful protesters. They don't like black people, blah blah blah.
Right.
You know, or the other thing was, that oh my God, look, typical Trump supporters. The whole 9 yards. That people were just coming out and railing on this couple, and I mean, I laughed at it a little bit because I'm sorry, like when you actually look close up and you see the way the couple is actually holding the weapons, it's a little off. Well, it's a lot off, actually. Thank God they didn't pull the trigger, because they probably would have shot each other before the protesters. But honestly, when it comes down to it, they did not deserve the blowback they got with the other stuff. People like poking lighthearted fun at them that are gun owners themselves, that kind of know. I can understand that, kind of memeing them for that. But, as far as the other, no, there's no question. They were absolutely in the right for defending their house. And, look, if people like that march through my neighborhood and they, so much as step on my lawn, I mean, I'm going to be super tempted. I'm at least going to draw on them and let them know, hey, you're not stepping on this lawn. And I will be that guy. I will be like, get off my lawn. You're damn right. So, that's what it boils down to in a nutshell.
What is this right here?
Holy. That looks almost like a boom mic or handlebar from somebody's bicycle, because one person was riding a bike. I think that's a handlebar or something like that. It looks like.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute, what is that? Sorry, I'm just trying to look.
Mishmash said, I think they were rich leftists that virtue signaled and voted for this. Nevertheless, they have the right to protect themselves. Yeah, and the funny thing about that is, Mishmash, because there was somebody that said that the couple actually, are Democrats, and they posted a thing in support of BLM earlier or something like that. But the thing is even then, it's hilarious because the rich leftists that vote for this stuff, as soon as it comes to their neighborhood, they're quick to draw on these people, which is funny. But hey, regardless, I still stand by the fact that they, like Shadowman said, they have the right to protect themselves. So, but it is complete irony if these people do turn out to be rich leftists, that I'm going to laugh my behind off, because it's like, well, you voted for this.
Well, that and the way they've been attacked, that would both be, a huge comedy of errors. I've seen this type of thing happen before on social media. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, cold-blooded.
Cold-blooded critic, I love you.
Bullshit leftist maniacs.
I'm going to remember that one.
Oh, yes, absolutely. All right, so we can kind of get off of this and get into the censorship portion, because the censorship portion, it kind of yesterday, I think the biggest Twitch ban, aside of Dr. Disrespect, is our president, Donald J. Trump. The Trump campaign account got banned from Twitch. And, it got banned because of supposedly hateful speech, or whatever the hell they're
They mentioned about only having legal immigration, and apparently they got them banned.
Yeah, well,
Well, and here's what's really disturbing about the censorship and the banning. Okay, let's say that I control a platform like Twitch or YouTube. Well, I decide to ban something. I tell you why it was banned, but now what was banned has been disappeared forever. So you only have my word to take on what that content was that was banned. It's very Orwellian and very disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shadowman says I did not know Trump was on Twitch. Yeah, the campaign actually had an account on there, Shadowman, because they had they streamed the rallies on there and whatnot. Twitch was a nice way to be able to stream the rallies, and it was good. It was good, but then it appears like one of the rallies from 2016 and another one kind of provided the fuel and the supposed justification for this ban, but
So,
but we know the reason why. It has nothing to do with hateful speech, anything else. It's because it's Trump, and they banned it flat out because of that reason. Yet they'll sit there and let like near commie assholes on Twitch continue to say whatever they want because Twitch is a socialist communist echo chamber. Their politics section, like they don't have a section, but if you go and type in like the hashtag politics on Twitch and you go and just check out what's going on, 90% of the streams where they're talking about politics, I can promise you they are like really like hardcore, communist support, flat out like Antifa support type people that are just spewing that rhetoric. It's basically a bunch of scorned Bernie bots. These people are just like,
well,
I guess, yeah.
I feel there's a larger question at play here, and I'd like to ask the panel because Twitter started tagging specific tweets from Trump as being harmful, and now we're seeing this ban on Twitch. Is this a prelude to a coordinated effort to deplatform the president, much as, say, Alex Jones and others have been deplatformed years past? What say you, panel? What do you think?
Oh, me and Christy kind of talked about this earlier because I made that suggestion that Twitter may be next on the ones that are going to try to ban the president, which is going to blow up in their faces. But Christy doesn't think they would do it.
I don't think that they would do it to a certain extent, because if they had to do it to the president, who is a public figure, then you need to do it to all politicians on both parties. You can't just have the one example. You need to do it for everybody. And if it does happen, I will be very surprised if it does. To be
honest. Let's say they take this argument. Well, we just banned @RealDonaldTrump. That's his private Twitter, not a public Twitter. Therefore, it's not in the public interest because
he's still a public figure.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I agree, but I'm telling.
And it'll blow up in their faces because then now they won't know anything that he's saying unless they go to because he had said that he is considering joining the other platform right now.
I hope they do ban him.
Well, I would consider it. I'd do it.
Oh, if they do, man, that will start a tidal wave. Wow.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you heard. What you said, Sentinel.
Please hope they do ban him. I hope they do. And the reason why is I want the president to make an announcement and saying, I was banned on Twitter. I am going to go to Parler or another social media platform that has the exact architecture and layout as Twitter, and have him say, if anybody wants to follow me, come and join this. And have a huge migration to a new platform. The problem with these smaller platforms that are just getting up is they don't have the reach and the synergy of influence and immediacy of information that Twitter has. But if the president is banned and he starts something new, it would be a huge boon to whatever social media platform that embraces traditional, ideas of free speech and that sort of thing without leftists or any political spectrum politics, either far right or far left.
Well, I think that would be a good thing. The question is, do they have the technology? Do they have the servers to support such a large influx of followers, subscribers, member? Wait, what? Sorry, Stream Brain.
For the last week, they've gotten 500,000 members already. So
signups. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on their way.
Is that Parler?
Yeah. I mean, now I got an account on Parler. Now
I just got one.
Now I do know that there's been a little controversy with Parler because there's been some people already like banned off of Parler, and I kind of wonder like why. So because my biggest thing is this. Like, and this is a thing for us. If we're going to have integrity, and it's not so much as like, just whether you're conservative or libertarian, whatever. You always need to have integrity when you're talking about free speech. And that's what I'm hoping that they do with Parler. I don't want them to just be like, okay, we're going to be like, alternate universe Twitter, and they just start banning people that don't agree with them. I mean, because you can't be that way, because then you just be in the same way as the other place, but just for a different side. You can't do that. If you're truly going to be free speech, I mean, sure. If it's something bad, if it's something where it's like, child diddlers posting stuff or whatever, yeah, you get rid of them. But, other than that, I mean, sure, people are going to say shitty things sometimes. If you're going to be free speech, then let it ride. Let it ride. So, we'll see how Parler works. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I've got my account there. I'm going to see how it works. But I'm also, I haven't deleted my Twitter, nor will I, So.
Yeah, I've been checking it out since I still have Parler up. There are some liberals over there, and there are some people posting hashtag BLM, hashtag defund the police, like bombing people's little conversations.
Hey, Stephen.
But yeah, it's like, it's not a major thing. It's pretty relaxed over there.
I'm all for that. What I want is to see something that allows as much, conservative voices to be heard as there are leftist voices to be heard. I don't care. I mean, Twitter has firmly established that they're socialist pigs. What I'm hoping.
Well, they are, yeah. I mean, and they go heavy-handed with they definitely go heavy-handed with making decisions and allowing their judgment to be influenced by their political leaning. Absolutely. So it just I don't. I ain't got no love for the people that run Twitter. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I was watching that Tim Pool interview where he was talking to one of the customer service or representatives, PR people from Twitter, and the person had this glassy-eyed, almost robotic response to Tim Pool's question. Well,
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
That hardline stance she had. She didn't want to come off in the wrong way, but in doing so, she inadvertently, exposed herself.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very careful usually not to expose myself.
Excuse me.
Like they said in Ghostbusters 2. And you wouldn't like us exposing ourselves.
That's what she said.
Exactly. I had to jump in on that joke, Sentinel.
I love it. I
you
love
teed
it.
it up.
Any opportunity to find humor in the insane is wonderful.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But Christy, the chat's loving you. So apparently, Steven says, why does Christy always look like she's ready to laugh at me?
It's because what Wes put in the private chat.
Oh God, I need to go read.
And then Sci-Fi Nation says,
I'm not laughing at y'all. I'm not. That's the reason why I came back on camera. But it's just like it's so hard, and because it's such a serious conversation, and I was just like, God dang it! So I keep going like this right here, and then I notice Wes. He's
Making
smiling.
faces.
I just copied what Steven said. So
Yeah.
so are you a giant Sentinel? He had a question.
Yeah.
Sentinel screaming from underwater. Well, not really. I maintain this until J.J. Abrams solves the mystery box. I'm trapped in it.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Need to make a portal.
Yeah, get out of
He
there.
needs to wrap up a fucking story in a satisfying way and not just, provide more questions as a successful conclusion to a story.
Okay, there is only one of his movies that I really enjoy, and it's regarding Henry, and it came out like late 80s, early 90s. Great movie.
Yeah.
He did that?
Is that the one with
Yeah,
Naomi
he did.
Watts?
He did. Yeah, regarding Henry.
Wow. Jesus.
He
That's how he
wrote
had the
it and
relationship
directed.
with. Yeah, that's why he had the relationship with Harrison Ford. Yeah, I found it kind of disturbing actually because they make it seem like he's that he just learned in the trailers that Henry just learned how to loosen up, but he's really developmentally disabled and traumatic brain injury after that happens, which man, it really bummed me out. But it is a good movie.
It starts out he's this evil lawyer and cheating on his wife and everything, and he changes after he's shot in the head.
Yeah, he's got like the slick back hair, and then when he's turns quote unquote good, he's got the kind of less gangsterish looking
Right.
hairstyle.
Man, Parrot Head, I'm surprised you missed the window, dude, on that It's So Hard thing. I thought there was for sure going to be a Beware the Drew type of thing coming out for that. But I don't know, like the stuff with the censorship. Yeah, I mean, if the president gets banned, then it's pretty much open season. It's already open season.
Yeah.
Because here's the problem, Wes. There is this whole thing amongst these platforms where they have such a vague TOS. They can pretty much ban you for anything, anytime. There's no sort of rhyme or reason to what they qualify as inappropriate or hate speech, whatever that they're going to ban you for, and that's the problem. You can say that you're not going to ban anybody except for hate speech, but you don't define what that hate speech is, and that's the thing here. That's how they get you, and it's like they have that vagary all over every single platform. And these platforms get away with murder because nobody calls them to the carpet, and they sit there and abuse their 230 rights. So,
well, it's not just that. They'll go back and they'll cherry pick. They'll go very far back into your history and cherry pick it.
Oh yeah, they definitely will.
And they'll take things out of context. Like, I mean, example. I mean,
well, look at what Twitch did with the retroactive taking down of content according to retroactively with the DMCA stuff. When they changed their policies, they decided to scrub just about every user on the platform's content that had anything like that didn't jive with the new policy they had with DMCA. They went and just deep sixed the content.
What happened there was Twitch got caught with their pants down because they let people play like copyrighted music like AC/DC and all this. Then DMCA pounced, and so they had to hurry and start changing rules and all this other stuff.
I mean, shit, I used to do that. Every stream I did, I played my Spotify underneath it. I didn't care. I mean, because I knew the trick, the filter wouldn't pick it up if you had your Spotify at a certain volume. So I could still play what I wanted. I just had to make sure my Spotify was at a certain volume so that, my OBS and everything else wouldn't pick it up. And I could just go in and do what I wanted.
Right.
But if I go back on, next time I log on to Twitch, I haven't logged on there in a long time. I bet you if I went through my content, like mostly 90% of it would probably all be gone.
Yeah. Oh, there's something I wanted to bring up since we are talking about censorship.
Okay.
I saw this video with the quartering. Apparently, YouTube today deleted 24,000 channels. And I think they said it was because of hate speech. Yeah, they did. Supposedly it was all white supremacist channels and shit like that.
Stephen Molyneux, yeah, he got, I don't know if his channel got, out now deleted, but it was, I saw him trending on Twitter, with saying that his channel had been completely I'm assuming deleted. And Stephen is probably in that in their crosshairs just because of the opinions he has.
Well, I mean that's understandable. I mean, I'm don't like white supremacists and stuff like that, but you have to be really careful with that in the regards. If they have taken them down, what else do they deem as unacceptable with YouTube's rules and everything like that? Because it's so vague. Sometimes people don't know they've broken a rule until they get a channel deleted, a copyright strike,
right,
or something like that. And David Dukes, that Richard guy, I think they're scums of the earth, in my opinion. But
okay, they're scums of the earth, and their content has disappeared from the face of the earth. Someone else is telling you what the content said, so it's like, oh my god, these people are scum.
Exactly,
they've been banned. What have they said? I need to see it. Oh no, it's gone.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, and if you know what, like, I know what they were talking about. It's not something I was interested in. I didn't play it or anything like that. I just don't watch it. It's that easy. And yeah, you think they know.
And knowing's half the battle.
Yeah. All right, Mr. West, you're in charge for 1 second.
Me? Oh, okay.
Take it away, Wes.
Oh, all right. So yeah, censorship sucks. I don't like it. Not happen. Because
Could
we're
somebody
America.
explain? I'm sorry, Wes. Go ahead.
So that was the end of my thought. Go ahead.
Somebody explain to me why Twitch, will go after certain channels or certain Twitch streamers, but a Twitch streamer, basically who's providing, cam girl content is allowed to stay on there. Seems like a little bit of a double standard. what
It is.
would
It is.
Yep, that's something Drew and I have covered before. It is a bit of a double standard.
I'm not against that. Everybody has a right to make money, and there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. I just don't like the double standard, as you guys said.
I'll say it. I mean, the Twitch thoughts who bare their chests and stuff like that and get money. But I mean, who's the guy? Dr. Demented, Dr. Death, Dr. Daniel.
Disrespect. Yeah.
Whatever the hell his name is. Did we ever figure out why his channel was banned or
Well,
deleted?
it's unbanned now. I saw an update on Twitter earlier. But yeah, it never explained why.
It was very serious, and you needed to trust the Twitch authorities. And if he disappears down the memory hole, whatever we say it is what it was. So nothing to see here, folks.
Yeah,
to see here.
And like y'all say with the DMCA's and stuff like that, I don't care what it is. If what the rules are is they can't show images and they can't show any video. And if they're not, and people are just talking about it, then no, absolutely not. And a lot of channels on Twitch and YouTube, and even memes. I did not know that until later on. I was like, memes are getting.
Well, yeah, he saw
That's crazy.
He saw like a few days ago, Carpe Domptum got banned from Twitter.
Sometimes I think it's a good thing.
I mean, but I mean that's a big deal though, because again, it's just it's still part of the problem, And what's up, Bear?
Gabble dabble.
Hey, Bear.
Hey, Bear. How's it going?
But
it goes. It's going.
But that's part of the problem. You have like these people getting taken down, and Sci-Fi Nation. That's a good point. Alex Jones kind of started the ball rolling when he became the most banned man on the internet, pretty much. It started this ball rolling. It opened the door, definitely, and then it went from there. But I mean, you're seeing so much. You're seeing it become such a wide open thing as far as censorship now, because I mean, my God. If you're a Twitch streamer and like, let's say, some lady comes out and says, hey, Tehillim, you're not too late. Some lady comes out and she doesn't even know me. Some lady comes out on Twitter, some crazy lady, and says, oh, I met Supreme Heretic back in 2012 and he grabbed my tit and it made me uncomfortable. I mean, she could just say that, and then guess what? I may not even know the girl, but if that goes out on social media, hey, rip my accounts. I'm probably gonna get banned off of Twitch. I'll get banned off of YouTube.
Hey, Stephen Hale.
Possibly, and I might get banned off of even Twitter. I mean, because at least on Twitch, man, they ban people just for an allegation.
Hey.
Yep.
Drew.
Yeah.
Basically, you can't show the people. You have to let the people see it, and then they'll know. It's the old saying, when a horse wants to go get water, it'll get water. Otherwise, you ain't dragging that horse down to get that water because it ain't gonna go.
Yeah. Well,
and everyone's being showed. Proof's in the pudding.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, some chick doesn't even have to know me. If they wanted to like destroy my Twitch account, they could just say like go on Twitter and say I did something to them, and then bam, my Twitch account be gone. I find that pretty messed up. I don't know. What do you think, Fallon?
I think we discussed that yesterday and earlier today. It's like we already said that it's like people can ruin your life, and West looks weird.
Yeah, I do. Can you shut the TV off here real fast?
What's that thing going through your head?
There we go. That was my backlighting.
Oh, or,
It looks like a portal is appearing.
yeah.
Now he's got demon eyes.
Yeah, you know, that's what I need, man.
That's the remake of The Ring.
That's what I need, Steven.
If he crawls out of there, I'm out.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Hey,
Bear couldn't be alone. Oh wait, Bear.
Hey,
no.
do the hand reaching out thing.
That's
so creepy.
Looks like you've been finger painting with black ink.
Yeah, that's what I need, Steven. I need some female fans. I need some simps so I could be a male Twitch thought.
Well, Steven, your ass is monetized, so monetize the haters and stuff like that. There you go.
I wonder if there was a way to, you know how some 3D images can recreate the human body to a very detailed form, and you know how there are some voice programs that mimic a female's voice perfectly. Imagine a man adopting like a 3D model of a really beautiful woman with a very voluptuous form, and just go to Twitch and pretend to be this almost like sex phone line in a way.
Oh, dude, they did that kind of with Project Melody, although, I think it's a chick that does it, but the Project Melody account is wildly popular.
It's going to be like Simone, where Al Pacino is Simone. You know.
Oh my god!
There you go.
Damn.
There you go, Wes.
Yeah. Sci-Fi Nation said Drew needs some thoughts.
Those hoes over there.
Oh man. Wes, Phil said, "Be careful. They'll say you're doing blackface."
Oh man! I should only do that if I'm intending to. Damn it.
Did you hear that they took Netflix took, or no, it's not Netflix, it was Hulu, the Golden Girls episode where they had
my
the face
god!
mask?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier today on Fallon's stream.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm just now looking at it.
But yeah, I mean it's crazy.
Hollywood is stupid.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Well, they've been stupid for a long time.
Watch out! They're going to come after our next generation. Picard, was such a stinker. They're going to say, "Oh, Alexander was played by Brian Bonsall, a little white kid, and he was in blackface, so that's no good." And Robert O'Reilly played Gowron, but he was in blackface, so got to get rid of him.
Wait, what was that one episode of Next Generation? Where they had Nagilum. He'll be like,
where silence has least. Yeah, that's one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, they'll be like, Nagilum looks too much like a black baby, so we gotta cancel that TNG episode.
You know what I don't get?
I think it may be coming. It's that ridiculous.
That's what she said.
They go after, I don't know what's. Thank God Robert Downey Jr. hasn't gotten, canceled for the Tropic Thunder where he played an actor pretending to be an African American.
They tried to a couple
They've
of months
already
ago.
bitched about that. Yeah, it's like what Fallon said. They've already bitched about that. Not loudly enough yet, but
Not loudly, yeah.
But it's
He's so
coming.
beloved right now. Thank God. Because if his career hadn't, soared because of the MCU, I think he'd be a much easier target to cancel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, oh my God, the chat is on fire tonight.
Well,
The best chat on YouTube, by far.
Oh God, yeah, we've got half of our chat is filled up with like high level smartassery. So
Yeah, it's a
I,
great.
I
Wouldn't be right
What do
without
you
it.
expect at 1:30 in the morning?
I know, right?
yeah, I don't know, man. Just wait. Don't get cold blooded critics started because man, that dude, he is like he is excellent at being a smartass. Because I know, because I got to know cold blooded critic a little bit. He's funny.
Philip Gaming's like, don't remind the left about Tropic Thunder.
I will. I just want to point that out because I personally love the Chappelle show, and Dave Chappelle did whiteface several times on that show. But the double standard, he's not getting criticized. And I'm going,
No, he'll never get
White chicks.
And neither is Sarah Silverman, who actually did blackface with the big white lips.
Yep.
She's not getting attacked either.
But she's a leftist. Oh my God, she won't get in trouble.
And I had made a tweet earlier, and I didn't really say who it was about or anything, but like the whole like the Shane Dawson stuff. I know we don't want to go all down that road, but they had mentioned where whoever the middle brother is, the one weird kid that in that karate movie, the remake, Jaden, I don't know what the hell his name is, said something when she was 11. Well, she's what, 2019 now. So again, if you're saying that when she was 11 and stuff like that, and that grossed you out, then you're just now coming into public social media and saying something now and that's the thing. It's Hollywood. They complain about stuff when it's convenient towards them.
Right.
Sorry, she's touching the mic.
oh, it's sweet.
No, it is crazy. It's just like man, I don't know. It's getting out of control, and Hollywood don't help.
No,
Yep.
they don't. They almost went after Blazing Saddles a couple of weeks ago after they went after Gone with the Wind. I was just... that's one of my...
They were also trying to go after Forrest Gump.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What for?
What was the thing about Forrest Gump? You gotta tell me about this, man.
Christy covered it in her live stream.
What was it about? It was that article. Was it Variety or something like that? Movies that haven't aged well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what was the problem with Forrest Gump?
Something about the name of his like grandfather was.
Oh yeah,
white
it was related to the
supremacist.
KKK.
Oh God.
Yeah, supposedly he was named after Nathan Bedford Forrest, the founder of the KKK. Yeah, that's what.
Oh Jesus.
In the book, he was, but I don't know, man.
Yes. By the way, what Phil just said, he just bought Blazing Saddles on Blu-ray because of all the cancel bullshit going on. I can't stress enough, if you have something that is an old favorite of yours, go out and buy the physical media so that you have it. Because, you never know when it's going to get pulled off a streaming service or whatever. And then, if you rely on just streaming services, they can't be trusted. So
absolutely. Netflix taught us that with the Back to the Future.
Yep.
We didn't even know that was edited until somebody had pointed it out. And if that's been, kind of fixed according to some censor, what else has been?
Yeah, and you have to.
Now that you bring up the Back to the Future thing, the directors and creators of Back to the Future found out about that and made them change it.
Yeah.
They
Well-
were angry.
Well, I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, this makes me angry, and I don't know about you, but man, it makes me want to eat my neighbor.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
There's no sound.
Having you eat my neighbor, I'm gonna haul him up by a chain. I will eat your ass. I'll do it. You think I like sizing up my neighbor? Cut him, skin him, chop his ass up. My children are going hungry. I will eat your ass. Eat your ass. I'm literally looking at my neighbors now going, I will eat your ass. I will eat your ass. Eat your ass. My superpower is being honest. And I will eat your ass. I will eat your ass. Eat your ass. That's why I want the globals to know. I will eat your ass. I will eat your ass. Eat your ass. I've extrapolated this out. And I will eat your ass.
All right.
It'd be like that kid. You better like hide your kids, hide your wife.
What it seems like, huh?
Oh, that's great. That is great. That is great.
Yeah.
Did you see the tweet from that woman? I just discovered her. I think her name's RD209 or something like that. She's a New Yorker, and she was just going in on the left, and she's swearing about this. I'm so happy to have found that we need more defiant, blue collar, take no bullshit attitudes like that. I think we would hope that someone would treat us with respect, and then we would reciprocate with respect. But there's no respect from these people given to centrists, moderates, or even conservatives. So
No such thing.
the way to counteract that is to be just as defiant in voicing our opinions. We don't have to be confrontational with them necessarily in public or that way. I saw a video of some brainwashed moron. He was almost going to beat up some old lady for, speaking her mind and telling off these protesters. So there needs to be a space for us to be able to do that, and I think we have that on our social media. So be defiant, be rude.
Well, here's the thing, and I kind of wanted to bring this up as well. It's funny, like Ice-T, he's been saying for a while, if you pay attention, really and truly, left and the right are two wings on the same bird, and to a degree, I'm taking sort of that thinking, and I'm looking at what's going on.
Did you Heresy?
I'm looking at what's going on with the congressional Republicans right now, and the fact that they seem to be, on the sidelines, kind of allowing this to happen. And the only thing, the only buffer.
What's up, man? Number.
The only buffer that we have right there. Hail, DJ. And congrats on your 48-hour stream the other day. The thing that is alarming seems to be like the only buffer zone is President Trump, and the rest of it is, well, as he coined the phrase so eloquently, the rest of it is just a swamp. Nobody's standing up. I haven't seen not a one, actual congressional Republican, in interviews I've seen on TV or anything, anybody come out and say, this shit is wrong. I'm glad the president's standing up for it, and get on board and say, hey, look, I'm standing behind the guy. nobody's come out and said that, and that is rather alarming to me. So it seems like while all this shit's going on, the only people doing anything about it is President Trump and the citizens, ordinary, everyday citizens. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I'm worried about to a degree, because it's fine when you're keeping a cool head, but how long is it till there's a casualty?
Yeah.
And that's what worries me. Because the minute there's a casualty, we're going to have like open physical civil war. I mean, we're already in cultural civil war. I mean, it's there. It's pretty evident. But we're going to be in the actual physical civil war too as soon as there's a casualty. And that's what I'm worried about.
Where are the Republican strategists on this? I mean, I hate to bring him up because, he's a real ghoulish, person, but where's Dick Cheney in all of this? He had a brilliant mind for getting conservative, a conservative base to.
Well, you know why?
Well, he's an establishmentarian, and he gave a speech. He gave a speech at the CFR where he said, "Yeah, I didn't tell any of my constituency that I was with the CFR. I spent so many years in Congress." And
Dick Cheney is a globalist, man.
That's a Darth Cheney.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Yeah,
he is Sentinel. It's okay. A lot of people didn't. He's a brilliant guy. He's just
he's definitely not on the team. That's for sure.
What amazes me is how people. You have a right to lead with emotion, especially if you feel wrong, but you also have to think logically. And the election is in what? November, July, August.
5 months.
It's about 5 months. And it's
4 months away, actually.
The coverage and stuff like that is just going too intense. But a lot could happen in that 4 months. And from what I can see, I'm not a Trump fan. I didn't vote for Trump. I will never vote for Trump. But at the same time, I'm not going to degrade someone or complain. Well, why did you do that? That's your patriotical right to vote for whoever the hell you want to. But as I see it, this only proves, in my opinion, that he's going to get reelected, to me, with all this stuff going on.
Well, I don't know, because there's
get reelected
around it. There's rampant election fraud going to happen.
Absolutely.
This mail-in system is a disaster waiting to happen, because you've already got, and Tim Pool proved it. If you go on, again today, there was a thing where he said, look, there was a mail-in ballot came to my house, wasn't even for me, it was the right address, but ain't nobody lived here by that name. But that it came here, and they're sending it just to people that randoms. I mean, it's just like, wow, are you serious? My goodness, it's crazy, and there's going to be rampant election fraud. I mean, the Democrats are trying any way possible to get the White House back, because the minute they do, it spells doom for everybody. I can promise you that. And no offense, Franklin Doom, because I know it's not a play on your name, but yeah, you know what I'm getting at. It's just it's not good. It's going to be dark days for everybody.
Death of America. Serious.
Yeah.
Serious.
It will be.
That's no shit. That's no joke. For real.
I
You kiss
didn't
any
vote
freedom you think you have, goodbye.
I didn't vote for Trump in the last election. I voted for the Libertarian candidate because I am more of a moderate. But he's got my vote. And by the way, I'm going to physically show up at a voting place to make sure that my vote isn't tampered with by mail fraud. And I actually tweeted that out.
Yep. I'm doing the same, Sentinel. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. I am going physical to wherever the polling place is.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to be. I mean, I'm not going to have my vote go unrecorded. Whatever. I'm going to make damn sure that I'm the one putting it in, and that's how it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. There's this amazing thing called early voting.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly.
I wish people utilize that more.
Well,
yeah, here in Washington State, they have mail-in ballots, and
hey, man,
and if you want to vote in primaries, you on the envelope on the outside where everyone can see, you have to declare party. It's visible.
Oh my God.
Oh, are you serious?
I am serious.
Wow.
I seen that, and I'm like, nope. Not a bit. Not going to do that. Because they want you to declare a party, and so then someone could take a picture of that and then dox you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I may take my ballot and hand it in personally myself, because we got drop-off locations that's near every fire station has a drop-off box just for voting. And I may actually go to where their actual poll at, and I may turn it in physically myself.
I was about to say that comment. I really like that comment. There needs to be term limits.
Yes. Oh my God, yes, preach. Because term limits for Congress needs to happen like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to. I'm going to be, I'm going to be the naysayer here. I'm going to disagree. What we need is an enlightened and awakened electorate that participates. See, we tried term limits here in California, and all that happened was that the staff members stayed the same, and you had these new Congress people or new Assembly people and senators that had no idea what they were doing, and the staff that stayed while the legislators rotated out or were termed out ended up basically running things for the special interests. So you have to have an enlightened and informed electorate, otherwise nothing is going to happen.
So basically, it's a very good point, Wes. So basically, term limits should apply to the staff as well. So there should be all new staff coming in.
Yeah, you do, but someone who's
think
elected needs to educate themselves too at the same time.
Right.
It doesn't take an idiot to realize if this person who has been here for so long and has this staff way of thinking. I mean, you have to be incredibly naive not to think that.
Yeah. Well, Jason C just made a good comment, and hey, Shellback, it's good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Turtle.
Yeah,
what's up?
The thing is, it's not really necessarily DNR anymore. It's basically, patriots versus communists, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it is now. There's no real party system left. It's patriots versus communists. So I mean that's pretty much what it is.
What would you in ancient Greece? They usually had I think they had a random citizen elected to the government there, and they would serve a term, and it was like akin to having to go to jury, like jury duty.
Okay.
Not many people want to do it, and the idea was it would consistently clean out the previous tenure of the person who was there previously, I wouldn't be opposed to that being brought in, especially with the representative. But they would have to be educated. I mean, I wouldn't want a complete dummy. I'm just so sick of the knee-jerk automatic reaction of most Californians to simply vote Democrat. I was that way for a long time, but I'm thoughtful enough to recognize when the party I joined didn't reflect the original, let's say, ideology, virtues, and stance that it had and became, Marxist.
Right.
I wish more people would wake up to that.
Yeah. It's God, I don't think I in my lifetime that I'd ever see a voting cycle in an election that's like so game changing as this one.
Oh yeah, you know it.
Well, the last one was pretty game changing.
It was, but this is different, Wes, because it's a very survival of the country.
I never thought I'd be when it comes to elections of any kind, local, state, or federal, whatever, that I would dread it. Like, I dread voting.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. What do you think, Fallon?
I think this is more or less everything's going to hit the fan, regardless of who wins. If the Democrats win, I think Tim Pool is right that while we may already be in a civil war, it's going to get intense because everybody's going to say they're right, you're wrong. And I agree with Christian. I am dreading it myself. I'm like, this is going to get bad.
I already planned it with me and my friends. We on election night, people are coming to my place and we're going to get drunker than skunks.
Well, all I'm saying is, if we're like counting down to where the world's in, Fallon, can we get married before the end of the world?
No.
Oh man, come on! Can't I be your first ex-husband?
Oh gosh.
Oh, man.
Even with the Silence of the Lambs reference, I love it. I love it. It puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose. Is that what you wanted to do?
Stephen, I have 2 guns, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I've got a metal bat next to me and a golf club.
Yeah, she'll beat them kneecaps, Steven. You gotta watch.
Night, Lady Mist.
Hey, Lady Mist.
All right. Good night. Good night.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's like I'm going to be keeping an eye on that, but I'm going to do what I normally do. Until the end of the world is the end of the world, I'm going to treat it like a regular night.
Oh, see, like here, I thought you were about to say you were keeping an eye on my kneecaps because you were going to target them.
Yep. I guess the eternal optimist in me sees how much waking up has been happening with the population and how many people are becoming awake and alert and aware of what's happening with the globalists and their agenda. And I guess I'm optimistic. I don't see. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, I don't want to believe that we would be in a civil war type scenario. I mean, a nation that with the little freedoms that we still have, that we have these freedoms, that we can't talk to one another and dialogue. I don't want to give up. Got to ask questions.
Oh yeah.
If you ask people questions, about why they believe certain things, a lot of times they'll come to the realization that they have the cognitive dissonance themselves, as opposed to if you tell them that they're, a dummy or an idiot, that's just going to kind of close them off. For example, the orange man bad stuff. Why, oh, Trump's terrible. Why is he terrible? He just is. Like what? Everything. Okay, give me an example. You got to ask
He's
questions.
a racist. He bullies people.
Mm-hmm.
He's mean.
God.
It's like
He's a meanie.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
doesn't like Mexicans. Oh, like when did he say that? Oh, we talked about illegal immigration. Okay, well, so you think that that the government should be paying for services of illegal immigrants? I mean, you're for that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
He built a wall. What more proof do you need, you fascist?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
You got to start asking questions of these people, and a lot of times they'll realize they have cognitive dissonance, and that'll get them like, okay.
I've done that before, Weston. What happens is, they start really dramatic, and then they start to calm down as logic starts to seep back into their mental process. It's quite an amazing thing.
Well, hey, there was a time I had cognitive dissonance. I mean, I wasn't a lefty commie, but I didn't want to believe things were as bad as they were. And then somebody's like, I forget exactly who it was, but they're like, oh yeah, look this up, and I was like, well, that can't be true. The media and all these, politicians, and they can't all be in cahoots. And then I went down the rabbit hole, and I was like, it's even worse
Honestly
than I thought.
curious if we're having a repeat of history and we're going to have a Red Scare again.
Yeah.
And all socialists will be chased.
Real quick, Lady Mist. RR said, better be careful where you walk. Don't step on any of my Legos.
I stepped on a Lego. That's painful.
Hell yes.
I had a bruise on my foot for 3 months.
I think Fallon, you're right. It could happen, but at this point, I kind of wouldn't mind kicking the commies out.
They got arrested and served life sentences. I think some were executed.
It's like,
during the early days of the Soviet Union and Cold War and all that.
Mm-hmm.
In hindsight, maybe some of those people weren't so paranoid.
Joe McCarthy, where are you when we need you?
Yeah, I used to believe he was a complete. I used to buy into the propaganda that they postulated about him of how he's this hate monger and this witch hunter. And no, he really wasn't that. He was really concerned about something that was actually happening within Hollywood.
Are you talking about Joe McCarthy?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
We need another Joe McCarthy to come out and hopefully put these people in place. But
this is a problem. We have a bunch of people afraid to come out and face the mob because they don't want to get canceled.
Yeah.
And that's why nobody has a set of brass balls like they did back then. Back then people actually had some intestinal fortitude and they had a set of brass balls because nobody gave a shit. They just come out and say what they needed to say. It's different now because everybody's like, oh my God, I can't say that. My public image is going to look terrible because of the mob.
Or the mob will come to your house and try to kill you.
Yeah, that too. Jesus.
I mean, McCarthy. I mean, to me, McCarthyism is a two-edged sword because do I believe it had some benefit? Yes, but it also ruined people's lives, and that's a scary place to talk. That's to me, that's scary to talk about.
Well, if you subscribe to the,
Or to like, if we're that would scare me if that's where we're headed.
if you subscribe to the, karma is a bitch standard, then, right now, all of the socialist, communist sympathizing people, they have no problem like doxing people and ruining their lives and everything else. So, what's the difference if people do it back to them? Sure, it doesn't make people any better, but, karma is a bitch.
And history repeats itself.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, people forget about the history.
Very true.
Well,
And
yeah,
they're trying to
but these assholes are trying to erase the damn history, so people do forget about it.
That was
Well, not just that they forget about it, but this was bad, and this is why it's gone, and this is why I say it's gone. But you can't see it to decide for yourself. It's just going to be gone.
every communist takeover ever has had some form of erasing history, either by burning books or declaring things associated with the previous era as null and void and to be buried and destroyed. It happened in China. It happened in Russia. Those are the two most prevalent I can think of right now.
And the statues come down.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how it repeats itself. And when you erase the history, you can easily establish a new one. And because you've erased the history, there is no counterbalance to look at to properly examine what the new regime is representing. You just go along to get along at that point, and that's 1984.
Yep, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
2 + 2 = 5.
Well, yeah, this is true, and oh, God, it's just I don't know. I just every day it's so like almost discouraging in a way because we find out in some form or fashion like some other thing that's just seems to be expediting the process of ruining this great nation, and it just like makes me upset and downtrodden and pisses me off,
They're not the only one.
So
I hear you.
yeah, it's just it's frustrating, and I just saw like a few hours ago like there was a thing like China's got another messed up
I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. When's somebody gonna smack them bitches upside the head and say, look, enough's enough? You let out another one of these things, it's an act of war, and we're gonna blow you to Kingdom Come.
I've been saying that for months. Turn China into a parking lot at this point. I'm sick of them. At least it would eradicate the fucking diseases.
Listen, I don't want to kill them all, Sentinel, because I need people to make my chicken fried rice, all right?
All right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's why I love Chinese Americans. All the great Chinese food that we eat, that was all developed in America by first-generation Chinese. You go back to China, and they eat frogs and bats and all sorts of shit. Very unkempt.
What do you want, sir? Combo number 5.
Combo number 5. Wow.
Dude, I remember that parody. I wonder if that little parody video is still up somewhere on YouTube. That was great. Somebody took Lou Bega's Mambo number 5 and turned it into Combo number 5.
Oh my God.
I love that song. Oh, it's so good.
If you when y'all get a chance, do y'all know who Count Dankula is?
I've heard of the name.
Yeah.
Fallon, I think I've sent it to you before. Like when he does the nations of the world. Holy
God.
shit!
Yeah, you sent me that
hilarious.
a while back.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
Steven's got a comment out there for you. 56 after.
Okay.
Throw it up. Highlight that and go ahead and read that.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's horrible.
Nice.
I think transsexuals have the same wish.
Yeah, probably.
I think there's a song called "Detachable Penis," right?
Yep.
Saw that on Beavis
Yep.
and Butthead.
Yeah, I saw my penis lying next to a broken down toaster oven on a blanket. Yeah, I remember that song.
Holy shit.
Yep.
That's a great song.
Detachable Penis.
But no, there was another thing I want to talk about seriously, and if actually, Christy, if you could look this up for me, if you got tab open,
Sure.
Look up the 1619 project, if you would. Please.
Oh my god.
On YouTube or just in Google or just
No, just in Google, and I kind of wanted to explain that, because.
Before you start, I'm probably going to cut out now because it's almost 2 a.m. and I'm starting to nod off. I'm sorry.
Oh, are you nodding off there, Fallon? Okay.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m.
It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely.
But y'all have a good night. I will talk to y'all.
Hey, you want to
later.
hear something cool before you go?
Depends on what it is.
It's kind of cool. Hey, Drew, why don't you share that screen real quick? I just made this today.
Okay. We're not listening this full 6 minutes, Bear.
I'm just going to play the beginning. It's a
Okay.
song.
Hey, man, that's pretty good.
I can tell you, I'm done with this movie.
I feel like I should be having
done with the train and off the train.
very weird relations to this song.
Very psychedelic.
But you know,
It's the way I roll.
And I don't want to be on that train. On the plane, I found myself saying, why the hell am I on the plane? I'd rather be on a train than be on a plane. Be on a train. What's up with this movie I'm watching? It's just imitating too much of reality. We want a little less
All right, Bear.
reality with
There you go. You can catch the rest if you like.
That's
It's really just a little under 2 minutes. And what I did is to satisfy the tile play with the artwork. I just kind of spliced it together and made it a little bit over 6 minutes, I think.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's me singing, actually.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Did you upload that today? Because I'm not getting any notifications from any of my songs lately.
Make
Wow.
sure the bells turn on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I put that together earlier.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's technically there's 4 tracks, but I took the one of the main tracks and I copied it and made it twice, so that way it would add the locomotion effect in the sound of the music. And it's 3 different pieces of music that I blend together and made one. You could listen to them individually and they would sound nothing like. Yeah.
That's cool. Also, Shellback said confirmed Fallon is a lightweight. I have no problem with that. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all get to it. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, you too. You
All
too.
Catch you on the flip side.
Good night, Fallon.
Holy shit, the nations of the world that used to be on Count Dankula's homepage is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What's up with that?
I don't know, but somebody else posted it, and I went ahead and clipped it, and I downloaded it. But this 16 by 19, what am I supposed to be pulling up?
The 1619 project. It's
Am I looking at the New York Times article?
yeah, it's something started by the New York Times. Yes.
Okay. Well, shit. You would tell me have to. I don't want to create an account.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Is there anything else that can describes it?
Wikipedia.
What does Wikipedia say?
It's an ongoing project developed by the New York Times in 2019 with the goal of re-examining the legacy of slavery in the United States in time for the 400th anniversary of the arrival of the first Africans in Virginia.
Right. So I can kind of like preface what it is, but I will first. I'm gonna send an invite here.
Let me see if I can click on Wayback Machine and just do it that way.
But this is important to discuss because this is actually actively right now being taught in our schools. And
what are you going to share it or
this 1619 project? And yes, if there's something that is shareable that looks good, then please do share.
Okay, shit, not that tab. Here I have something from the Atlantic. So I don't care. I do not want to sign up for anything.
Okay, don't worry about
it. No. I was able to get that done. Stephen, yes, I know Wikipedia is not a good source.
All right. So the 1619 project is this is a thing. It's actively being taught in schools, and I wanted to kind of highlight it on here because not everybody listens to the Blaze or listens to the radio, and this is why I wanted to bring this to your attention. What the New York Times is attempting to do with this project, and this is alongside this project, the same thing is being taught in our schools right now, that it takes the position that America was founded on racism and was founded directly as a racist country, and it discounts anything to do with the Pilgrims or anything of that nature. It basically says that we came out of Jamestown, and it was and the nation was built on all these bad institutions, including racism, slavery, things of that nature, and they are painting history in this way as this being accurate history without giving context, which is again a direct reason why our kids are being so screwed up.
Yeah.
Because things like this are being taught. You've got children learning this, and now you're going to have children in the future come out and think that this is an accurate portrayal of history when you're not really understanding the fact that, indeed the Pilgrims actually brought with them the good, a lot of the good things. and that we didn't come directly out of Jamestown or anything of what this 1619 project preaches. And it's very alarming because what you have here is literally an alternative history that is being presented as accurate. And I want everybody in the chat and on the panel to take a moment and think just how serious that is. Because when you have that happening, you know, you are again losing your identity and losing true history. And that is why, you know, I think like projects like this are insidious and they need to be called out. They need to be pushed back on and they need to be shouted down. You know, and I don't advocate for censorship or anything else, but when you have a very destructive sort of ideology and sort of something like this that is absolutely inaccurate and has a very just activist spin to it, it doesn't belong in the school curriculum. And why don't we go down and I'll get everybody's take on that. And welcome, Shellback. It's great to have you, my friend.
Yeah, because racism. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Turtle.
Hail Shellback.
Here's what we're going to learn in class today, kids, okay?
I'm a turtle.
I don't know. What do you think about this, Wes? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I had one of those dozing off during a live stream moments again. Recap. What's the Cliff
Please
Notes
fall
version?
asleep.
I did for a second. Yeah.
All right. So essentially, this is being taught as real history when, in fact, it's alternate history. But it's being offered in, you know, high schools as curriculum. It's being offered in colleges as curriculum.
Right. Okay. So this is the premise that the whole
We were born out of Jamestown. The Pilgrims never happened. Things like that. Right.
It was all due to racism. Right. That's
right. Yes.
That's the gist of it. Well, you know, you're entitled to your opinion, but you're not entitled to facts. And you know, that's everybody wants to feel that they have a lock on the objective truth, but there are very few objective truths in life. And, you know, if that's your opinion on what happened or your perspective on the colonization of the Americas, that's fine, but don't teach it as an objective fact. The only real objective fact that we know of is that we're all going to die someday. And everything else is pretty much there's some subjectivity to it. So,
I mean, but don't you find this as being a pretty insidious thing there, Wes? I mean, that's destructive when you're teaching something like that as fact.
I would say it is destructive. You know, the Western civilization and in the Americas in particular. You know, it was a new birth of freedom, unlike, you know, we've seen in recorded history, really. The freedoms that we have. And so to go down that path and focus on that as your focus of what happened, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We live in a country, you know, I mean, where poor people have, like, you know, smartphones and electricity and running water and abundant food, and it's just like, it's ridiculous. This being a long pattern of just kind of, you know, the negativity and gaslighting people into thinking that you know, things are worse than they are, and that the roots are rooted in something insidious. It's a part of the history, but it's not the overriding history. It's absurd.
Exactly. Christy,
Yeah.
if you were a mother and your child brought home a textbook that had this, what would you say?
I don't think so. Because that already happens in the state of Texas to a certain degree with the Texas Education Agency, or TEA, whatever it's called, because they wanted to put creation into science books too. So it's really hard. Reading through some of this stuff right here, I can see what the point they were trying to make, and maybe even to a certain. It's hard not to think that, but without the context or finding out anything, what if it's true? Then it's just what is it? What is it? Fictional history?
Alternative history.
Alternative history. And so, no, absolutely not.
Sentinel, what's your take?
I call it brainwashing children at a young age for a political insidious ideology to keep people stupid and controlled, cold, basically. If I had a son and he brought that home, I'd pull him out of the public school and probably find a way to homeschool him.
All right. Bear, what's your statement on it?
Well, real history and stuff like that doesn't really get taught in schools anymore. Even when we were growing up as kids, in the 70s and the early 80s, not all history was taught. And then I think we're really lucky if real, actual U.S. history is being taught in social studies.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a thing that I was taught, and I was always interested in history anyway, so I sought it after it myself.
Right.
Avid reader.
Yeah, same.
And I don't know if there's a generation of readers going on right now. There is no critical thought going on, I would say. And there's no young people, I don't think, reading the classics, the Greek myths and stuff like that. You don't see people doing that anymore, and I think it needs to happen again. I think people need to start reading the real history, and it's also referred to as hidden history too, especially to do with science discoveries or archaeology.
Oh yeah. Shellback, what's your take?
Well, all I'd like to say. Look at yourselves. You've been had, hoodwinked, run them up. We didn't land on Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Forest landed on us.
Yep.
I don't know.
I have to go there, but a house full of Steven special coffee landed on us.
But no, honestly, Shellback, if one of your children brought home a textbook like this, what would you say?
I don't know. I mean, I'd actually have to read it in detail. But I mean, yeah, it's. I'd probably be like, yeah, I don't think so. But I mean, I'll give you a real life scenario or whatever. My oldest, he's he was a junior this year, and I want to say it was this school year, but anyway, they were talking about BLM and all that stuff, and so my oldest, he's like, well, all lives matter, or, whatever. And the teacher basically called him a racist, right there in class.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, I think me and that teacher be having some issues right now, man.
Yeah. But
Yeah, nothing says racist like all lives matter, right?
And what's funny is his stepdad is black. Okay. And his stepdad said that the freaking teacher was stupid, basically. But anyway, yeah.
The teacher's husband was black.
Even the shenanigans you're getting up to in the chat are legendary at this point.
Yes.
Maybe that'll be my next avatar. I'll leave your imagination to which one that will be.
Gosh.
Oh, so, all right. Hold on a second. So when I first came in here, Stephen was apparently there was a discussion earlier about motorboating.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Something was brought up about motorboating.
Yeah, and something about rocking the yacht or something.
Oh yeah.
What's up with that?
Oh.
I have no idea.
I champion motorboating, so.
Well, I mean, by the looks of it, yeah, you had something to do with it, Christy.
I don't know. I didn't even see the comment that he said.
Yeah, RR, you're right. Civics isn't taught like it used to be.
Oh yes, definitely. There's no civics being taught whatsoever. Yeah. Well, this is a problem. I mean, if this is what this is just another piece of proof that we've allowed the education system to become absolutely permeated and be destroyed by poisonous ideology. There's just no way around that. And, we're exposing our children to it all the time, and I think the kids that are out there now, the misguided kids that think that Black Lives Matter is so cool, or Antifa really are heroes and stuff like that. They are directly being fed this by teachers and college professors, and even teachers so far down the chain as far as middle schools, and it's scary that this is happening. And a lot of people, like the generation before this. We lost an entire generation because a lot of parents were naive or didn't realize that.
It's 2 generations, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you're right, Bear.
Well, I got what 38 cousins, and there's 3 generations in that age group. Generation X being mine and some of my older cousins, and then there's what's that next generation? It wasn't millennials, it was the next one after
Generation Y.
Gen Z? Gen Z?
No, Generation Y.
Yeah, Generation Y. And then you have millennials. Well, it started with Generation Y. And I'll put this out there right now. It started with my generation not looking after their kids. My age.
Well, this should wake people up to the fact now, at this point, that we need to really start looking at homeschooling even more so.
I agree completely.
Because when this stuff is being actively taught and it's not even being hidden, anymore. Yeah.
Most people ain't got time for that, though.
Well, what do you mean, Shellback?
Meaning mom and dad both got to get out there and go to work to pay the bills.
Oh, yeah, I know.
There could be something organized amongst the concerned parents that don't want their children brainwashed by their bullshit. And possibly they could find a way for the children to be taught by somebody that they trust and who has the time to do it. And maybe have class at, with maybe 10, 12 children, teach homeschool out of, someone's garage, and do it that way, perhaps. That way, the parents, can still go to work, but at least maybe the children can get a proper education, an unbiased education, an education that at least gives them the tools to think, to further their own development, not be programmed by this current bullshit. I don't know exactly how that's going to happen, but it needs to. I'm just putting out the fact, Shellback, that it can be, we can find a way to do it. This is important on so many levels, because if we don't inform the children of today, they become the adults of tomorrow, and they're providing, they're the ones who are then elected. They're the ones who are then putting in policy that further provides detriment to our society. That's, I think, the point I wanted to make. Oh, Jesus, Steve.
Beware the God!
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like in the college level, I recently got to learn about things like white fragility in my sociology class, and basically that is somebody tells you something about your about your white ancestors or whatever, that you don't like, and you get upset, and object and all that stuff. That is you showing your fragility. Basically, it's like,
yeah, it's a way of it's a way of dehumanizing a race of people.
But I mean, it's if I mean, there's some of the stuff I've been taught in my time at college. I was just, I mean, some of it I've been like, you got to be kidding me, and some of it, I just secretly thought to myself, it's like, well, it's pick whatever you want to pick, just some smart ass answer like, well, it was your fault for being on my land before I got here, or some smart ass comment like that, but yeah. And and that's one of the things too. It's like all these people, want to like live in the past, and if I did that, there's like a part of me, that would have to hate another part of me because of my ancestry, each and every part of my ancestry, from what I know, I've got like, English, Irish, French, possibly some, some Viking, some Scandinavian in there too, so, each and every part of me has, enslaved, oppressed, or outright killed the other parts, but yet I'm still here, a product of all of those people. So, it's like, oh well, we've been oppressed for the past 500 years, and it's like, well, okay, well, everybody, each and every race has been enslaved by the other, oh, that's not true. And what? Yes, it is true. I mean, congratulations to you. Here's a prize for being the last one on the list. But,
and not to make the issue black or white, but, you had buyers and you had sellers, and the people that were selling the African slaves, I hate to break it to you, were Africans.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, Wes, so like,
I don't see anybody beating down their door for reparations, though. For
Snowdub. So Snowdub put out this tweet, like, I guess it was like day before yesterday, talking about the black gal that's slated to play Ariel, in the live action. And of course, don't like all her people was like, oh, y'all just mad because a black woman has taken over a white woman's role and all, and it's like, and at one point, I'm like, well, aren't you like tired of like hand-me-down roles? Wouldn't you rather have, a new character with a new name? I mean, you can still be, the Little Mermaid, just, instead of Ariel, be, well, I don't want to say Abby because it makes me think of Last of Us 2. But pick a name, and then have a new story, or I mean, she could still be a daughter of what is it in the Little Mermaid? Is it Poseidon or Neptune or I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
Poseidon, I think.
Anyway, it's see that this stuff like just boggles my mind so much. I forgot where I was going with this.
No, I get it. I get it, Selback. Yeah, it's alarming to say the least. And the point of this is, I know chat that when I have these streams, we talk about polarizing topics. We talk about things that are uncomfortable, but they do need to be discussed.
I know what it was, Drew. I know what it was. So one of these ladies told me that, well, no, some people were given away, and it's like, wait a minute. How the hell do you give somebody away, other than, a father giving the daughter away at a wedding? But, how do you like, oh, hey, here's a gift, But one of the other things they said is, they were stolen. Okay, so that myth or whatever is still out there,
right?
Of the big bad European white man going to Africa and rounding up villagers and and taking them to the Americas, and it's like, and you can't have a reasonable conversation with these people in order to tell them how like logistically impossible that would be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like it would not have been worth their time, trouble, and money to go to Africa to quote unquote steal people. Okay.
Exactly.
What it was is what you just said. This tribe had a fight with this tribe. The first tribe won, so the second tribe, guess what? Y'all are slaves now. Oh, hey, Dutch man, I'll give you this bunch of people right here for $20 on the head. What do you think? Okay, so yeah.
What I don't get is Jews didn't get reparations from the Germans for the Holocaust. So when I see black people in America coming up to me and saying, well, part of you is supposed to pay me reparations. Well, I have family members who are Jews, and correct me if I'm wrong, Egypt is in Africa, and if I am to assume that the biblical Exodus was at least partially accurate, wouldn't you owe the Jews reparations for using them as free labor to build your pyramid?
Well, that seems to be the issue here, is the convenience. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, we didn't. I mean, you have certain brown pride Reconquista people saying, well, we didn't cross the border crossed us, and things like that. It's like, how far back do you want to go? Do you want to go back to people crossing in Siberia over the Bering Strait?
Yeah.
Like thousands and thousands of years ago, when there wasn't. I mean, how far do you want to go? I mean, when it's convenient and not convenient. We live in the here and the now, and we have to deal with the here and the now. And what we can't change is the past, but what we can change is our present and our future. And we're in the here and the now right now. And
that's what America was all about. It was founded on that idea. We have made mistakes in the past, but America as an idea was always striving to be a better country, government, society for the people, by the people, for the people.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
here's the thing with like slavery, though. They're all like all these people are like tearing down all these statues or whatever because they were slave owners and all this stuff, right? But the thing is, back during that time, especially 1700s, slavery was like a worldwide thing. There were slaves here, there were slaves in Europe, you name it. So, and it was like a way of life and a way of like running certain economies and whatnot. I mean, does that does it make it right? Trying to own another person. I'm nobody's saying that, but it's it's like the people that are out there squawking right now are trying to make it sound like we were the only ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
America was the only ones, and that every white person owned a black person, and
we lose Christy.
Yada yada yada. Which is
here pretty soon. I did want to complete a little bit of a thought here. And the Sentinel mentioned that about the Jews and the Holocaust. Well, actually, that's actually not true. The Jews did get some reparations, but they were the Jews that were actually the ones that were that had their property confiscated by the German government.
Yeah.
So they were given reparations for that, but it was the ones that actually experienced that event. So
Right.
we're not talking about 2 generations later, 3 generations later, 10 generations later. Well, but you made a good point. You made a good point. And the point is that the people that ended up with the reparations were the people that actually suffered the injury and not their descendants.
Right. And that's my point. I think we can all agree on that. Why keep bringing up old shit? That's just, if I were to be just crass about it.
Well, old shit, as you coin it, is the easiest to try and mess with, because most people don't go back and study the old shit and history. So it's easy to deceive people by going back and changing the narrative of it. So that's why. But hey, listen, I'm gonna go around the panel.
I'm gonna complete one last thought. If there's anybody out there that was born a slave and is still alive 150, 170 years later, absolutely, I wholeheartedly support reparations for you. That's it.
Well, Wes, I was going to go around the panel, let everybody kind of have a closing thought, and then go ahead and plug your stuff. So, all right, we will start with you. So go right ahead.
I am Wes Moody, the Wes Moody Webcast. You can find me at youtube.com/Wes Moody Webcast. I talk about pop culture, current events, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional car talk, and I will vlog about whatever the heck I want to, because it is my webcast. I hope to see you there. I'd be honored to have you subscribe to the channel. Thank you, my friends. See ya.
All right. The Sentinel. Go ahead.
Damn it, Wes. You did such a good job. I'm going to sound like a freaking idiot. All right. I'm the Sentinel. I commentate on pop culture. I make music videos, occasional troll videos. I find the humor in the absurd, and I try to at least provide a little levity. I can be found on YouTube. Put in the Sentinel. Narrow your search to channels. Scroll down, and when you see this metallic bird, click on it. That's my channel. Thank you.
And the Sentinel popped his cherry tonight on my stream, the first time he appeared with me.
Yes, I did, and it was wonderful.
Whoa. Very gentle deflowering.
Yes, it was. He was a tender lover.
Yes. I gave him the back kisses. All right. All right. Bear, go right ahead. If you have a closing thought, go ahead and make your closing point, and then go and plug yourself.
Well, the way things are with all the pink elephant and all the stuff surrounding the pink elephant and all that stuff, and all the people banging on pots and pans, making a bunch of noise, think about what's good. Think about that. Watch some Star Trek, decompress, watch some Deep Space Nine or Voyager. I watched a little bit of Voyager earlier today. And don't let it rent too much space inside your head, because it'll drive you nuts, drive you crazy. Because trust me, we've seen some things, and we know some things, and it'll drive you nuts. So don't focus on that so much, and watch something good, watch something wholesome, and watch something that'll make you laugh. Watch one of my videos where I'm singing. Yeah, there's a new video out, and that video is, the name of it, Swampland Movie Wobble Theory Boogie. Yeah. And you can catch the Sentinel on a rewatch on the late edition that was this past Saturday, because he was on tonight. And you also probably noticed that there were some other people on there as well too that were a lot of fun. We all had fun that night. So you can catch your rewatch, and if you scroll up, you'll see the link to the little recap of that show. You can watch that too. Good stuff. We had DJ Scandalous on the channel. It was awesome to have him, and his link is down in the info.
Gotta catch his
Gotta
catch his reaction to the roll of quarters. It's priceless.
So yeah, Wes was on there. Final Death Star was on there, and If I'm forgetting anybody, remind me, Wes.
I'm forgetting a whole bunch of stuff right now because I'm a little tired, but I think you got it. Yeah, click on the link.
Yeah, click the link. Go to my channel, and you'll see. Rewatch. It was a pretty good show.
It's a good
when there's a late edition, that just means it's kind of a special, because normally it's the Four Horsemen and the late edition, but this time it was just the late edition. We talked about UFOs and stuff like that, and watched some really weird stuff. Watched a clip of Bigfoot and stuff like that, and that was cool. So hey, without the chat, man, this chat's the most awesome chat in our community, man. I'm telling you that.
Yeah.
And we have subs and all that, and we all cross pollinate. So take care of each other. Watch out for one another. You see something weird, say something to somebody, and we'll look into it. Hail to you, hail to us, and hail to everybody, and have a great night. Thank you for coming. Be well. Just don't fall on one.
All right, Shellbeck, closing thought, and plug anything you want.
Just if you hear something, research it. Don't just take it at face value. And as far as plugging stuff, I mean, you can find me on here and Twitter under Shellbeck TJC. I make content every once in a while. And maybe I'll get more consistent one of these days. But all I want to say though really is subscribe to the Sentinel. He is your turbo lover, and he is hell bent for leather.
Hell yeah! Thank you, Shellbeck. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and
see what I did there? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Judas Priest, baby. But I guess as far as I'm concerned, chat, like I always tell you, take care of yourselves and each other. But look, in the end, I don't want people out there to be discouraged. It's like I was saying, we tackle when I do these type of streams. Sure, we tackle controversial topics and very polarizing issues, and very much what we're dealing with today. But I want everybody to know I am still very much in the corner of humanity. I feel like, American ingenuity, the American spirit, just humanity inside people is going to prevail. We are going to one day be enlightened. And I can tell you that, if it boils down to a second civil war, patriots will win. It's like I said before, the patriots will win. We are not going to let this country go easily. And by God, I know, at least for myself, I will die free. Promise you that. All right. So you can find me on my YouTube channel right here at Supreme Heretic. You can find me on Twitter at Supreme Heretic. You can read me on boundingintocomics.com. And, of course, Wednesday you can join me on the Bounding Into Comics channel live for Bounding Live, along with my buddy Dollified that's chilling in the chat, Donald Edmonds. Make sure you also read him on boundingintocomics.com. I see my friend George Peter Gattis just joined in the chat. Make sure you support him in his comic book project, Joe King. Also, Mikhail Wolf, Mando Merck, RR, author Stephen Walton, my guy. Love Stephen. You can catch Stephen with me on Thursdays for the Pegasus Actual podcast, as well as Bear Nerd Fun, Script Doctor, the lovely Raquel, because, man, Raquel's the glue that holds that show together. And, you can get your BSG fix in with us on Thursdays. And I want to thank, according to Christy, for being on the panel tonight until her internet went kaput and modding for me. Hello to the lovely stories by Irish. Big thank you to Fallon Reacts for also being on the panel. She's an absolute sweetheart. Please do support her channel. And, to Helim and Parrot Head and DJ Odyssey and my goodness, Jason C. We had like a ton of people in here tonight. And remember, it wouldn't be, none of the content creators, it doesn't matter the platform, would be anything without you guys in the chat. You are the lifeblood of what makes us a success, and we always and forever appreciate you. And I know I appreciate you guys. So thank you so much.
And Drew,
yes,
before we go, a word from our sponsor, Walton's Best Brew, because the best part of waking up is coffee in your butt.
That's right.
Yeah, I wanted to also something I forgot. There may be a special guest on this Saturday.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah, and we'll probably be talking about old school Star Trek.
All right. Very cool. All right, folks. Thank you, and have a good night. And Kai, I see you, bro. We'll take a rain check, and we will see you soon, man. All right. Appreciate you, chat. I will talk to y'all soon. Much love, and see ya.
See ya.